By the way, I also want to remind people that if you own a golf simulator, you know how often your tee breaks or flies away.
Yes.
There's a solution. It's called K2 Golf. They make a tee specifically for home simulator use. Learn more at k2golf.com. And it is time now. He's here in studio. Kevin Kreppen with K2 Golf is here to talk to us about his little invention here. So, Kevin, how are you doing this morning?
It's pretty impressive for what I've seen so far. Hey, Kevin.
Doing well.
Nice to have you.
Matt, Mark, thank you for having me in.
Yes,
Doing
sir.
well today.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so we've got a whole bunch of stuff in front of us here. So I was saying when he first walked in during the break that I was playing at Topgolf the other night, last Friday, and one of my buddies broke the tee.
Actually broke the rubber tee.
Broke the rubber tee in there. Broke it. I actually had to lift the mat up, pull the one out from the lefty side, and put it in the right-handed side. But the big complaint I have about that is it's a one-size tee.
Right.
Every time I hit driver at that point, I mean, you're not there to practice, but I like bringing my own clubs.
Right.
And every time I hit the tee shot, I mean, it's going like half the height because the tee is so low. All I know is I see here in the box that we were given initially is that I've got all kinds of different sizes, and they actually look more like a real golf tee. So, Kevin, how'd you start this, and tell us a little bit about it?
A couple years ago, indoor golf, much like Topgolf, is becoming incredibly popular.
Yes.
People are finding different ways to get into the game. But to answer your question, a couple years ago, there was a sale on a 3D printer, completely unrelated to golf. I sold my wife on the idea of, hey, there's a great sale. I can get this printer, $300 for $100. I always wanted to play with it, and I'll make my own golf tees. We'll save money in the long run. That really wasn't, but I just wanted to play with it.
Did she buy that?
So she did. So long story short,
salesperson.
I tried to recreate the most popular simulator tee that's out there,
Sure.
a company called Bird Tee, because it's frustrating. They break all the time.
Right.
It was a horrible disaster that they continued to break, even though I was making my own. And so I went to basically come up with my own design that looks very similar to the products you're talking about here,
Right.
what came to be the K2 Golf Tee. I found that it didn't break, and I had about 100 people in my online golf community test them out, and they loved it. And they're like, when can we buy them? I'm like, I'm not selling them. It's just, it's a hobby. But enough people wanted me to actually manufacture them, and 3D printing is not a viable way to do that.
Right.
So I went to a local manufacturer, said, can you take my design and make it into an injection molded metal plate so that we can make thousands of them instead of me making one every hour? So we did a Kickstarter back in August of 2022, very modest ask. We well exceeded that, and K2 Golf was born at that point. We had a successful campaign, and we launched K2 Golf in December of 2022.
Yeah, and
a great story.
Theoretically, this isn't just a simulator tee either. I mean, you could bring it to the golf course.
You can take that to the golf course.
Yes, you can. Now, people will ask, is it USGA compliant? It's not, because they say the little point that actually holds the bungee cord can be used as an alignment aid. In theory, you could clip it off, but I never even imagined people using it outside. But when I was at the PGA Merchandise Show last year, a lot of people said, oh, this would be great in the Northeast or Midwest when
you can't tee it up.
Late in the year, you can't put a peg in the ground. People are using this along with our tether pack to use it outdoors. So I don't foresee that being a huge part of the market, but yeah, you absolutely can.
Yeah, and like I said, I think for me, it's something that when you have a mat, you can either put it on top of the mat. If the mat has the hole, you can put it up through the hole.
Sure.
It serves both purposes because you have the little bean bag that comes with it. If it sits on top of the mat, it only goes so far, right, when you hit it. And that's the other key thing is that we all know that, what I've seen in the past is during the winter or during months where maybe the Bermuda grass isn't growing and a golf course moves you to the mat, what happens? When people want to hit driver, what do? They take a step in front of the mat and they tee it up on the grass, and the golf course frowns on that.
Sure.
So this solves a lot of problems.
Yeah, and with the indoor golf becoming very popular, it's kind of like the what was the 80s and 90s, the home theater.
Yes.
It's kind of becoming the home theater that all people want to have in their home that are golfers. There's over 25 million golf simulators estimated to be in the world, and
how many in the U.S., Kevin? Do you have those numbers?
Last guess, I saw over 15 million, but again, there's no specific. Yeah.
Wow.
And where
that's crazy.
When I used to work for the Golf Channel, I tried to get a company called Full Swing Golf onto there. They subsequently used About Golf for a while. But I became a demo site for Full Swing Golf, and those simulators were $60,000-$70,000.
Yes.
Amazing.
People now can get an incredibly accurate simulator, much more accurate than those $70,000 ones, for under $3 or $4, $5 grand.
Right. All depends on how much you want to set up your room. I mean, the simulator's one thing. The rest of the setup's the other.
Sure, and you can start simple. You can get a SkyTrack for $2,000 or $3,000
Right.
and just use a TV off to the side, hit into a net.
Yeah.
And then what a lot of people do is then they add
the
a
screen.
projector, and they grow into it. And because even though you're spending thousands of dollars, my brother and I played about 20 rounds of golf before 3 years ago because we live in different states. I bought him a simulator a couple years ago, and we've played over 500 rounds of golf in 3 years.
Wow.
Because it only takes about an hour for 2 people to play.
Right.
It's
Right.
It's
Yeah.
great. It's online. GS Pro is the software that we use. They have the Simulator Golf Tour online competitions. We actually have a Ryder Cup going on right now with 50 members on each side, U.S. and international.
Right.
It's all kind of broadcast through a program called Discord, so everybody's cheering everybody on. Is it on a real golf course? No, but the pressure is
Sure.
is something that adds to the experience.
More self-induced than anything else.
No doubt.
Right?
No doubt.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so when we look at k2golf.com online, tees range from a ½ inch all the way up to, is it 2.5 inches?
Quarter inch is our number one.
Quarter inch.
Okay.
And then they go up a quarter inch every side.
Okay.
So 1 is good for your irons, where fairway woods, hybrids. 2, fairway woods, hybrids. And then 3 through 10, they're actually a 2-part tee, and they can be adjustable.
Okay.
So a 3 is 3/4 inches, but it can extend 1/4 inch.
Wow.
All the way up to our 10, which is 2.5 inches, can extend to 2 3/4.
That's for the ultra deep face driver, right? Yeah.
Right. And I'm sure a lot of your listeners know the benefits of positive angle of attack. And for those that don't know about it, what positive angle of attack is through impact, your club is, your driver is on a upward swing.
Yes.
The advantages to that would be you're lowering your backspin, you're increasing your launch angle. So no matter what your ability and your ball speed, even if you have a 140 ball speed, if you have a positive angle of attack, you're getting the most out of your ability. And when I first started doing K2 golf, I didn't understand that concept. And so the advantages of my 2-part tee is when you start working with an instructor or learning to change your swing to have that positive angle of attack, you're more than likely going to be hitting the ball too low on the face.
Mm-hmm.
You're not getting that trampoline effect or the most coefficient of restitution, they call it, the most force coming off of that club. So the advantage of our tee is you adjust that tee that 1/4 inch up, you're going to be hitting more towards the center of the face. So there's advantages, a number of ways to having this 2-part design.
Wow.
So what are the tees actually made of? And, I'm sure, do they eventually break at some point? But it probably takes a lot to break something, because it seems like even the unbreakable tees eventually do break. Do they break?
Yeah, so I will not make the claim that they do not break.
Right.
Because nothing's unbreakable.
Of
Correct.
If anything that breaks on my tee, it would be the tether point that holds the bungee cord.
Gotcha.
But that is really only because people might have the
Don't
tether
use it
point
properly.
getting
They hit that.
contacted by the club.
Right.
I mean, we all know the force of a club through impact.
Right.
So I suggest to people turn the tether point away from the club's path so that you're hitting the shaft first.
Right.
But to answer your question, do they break? In short, no. I'm not going to say unbreakable.
Right.
I'm still using the same first tee off the production line after over 700 rounds, and I've never broken it.
That is awesome.
Unbelievable.
That is
So
absolutely
Kevin,
awesome.
you've been in business almost a year now, right?
Yep.
How's it going? How is business increasing every month? I mean, are you happy with the way it's going?
Yeah, so I still feel like we're in the early stages of our company,
Right.
and I don't know what we can do because we've had incredible success, and I haven't spent a dime on advertising yet. It's been a post on Facebook forums, and our sales go through the roof. So we're just now working with Charles, who's involved, I think, with your show,
Yes.
as far as doing the advertising. He's going to be working with us through social media and other ways to get
Yes.
the word out.
Mm-hmm.
But everybody that has tried our teas, the feedback, we're on Facebook or Amazon now,
Right.
5-star reviews across the board. Everything has been overwhelmingly positive.
Good.
My challenge this is not what I normally do. I mean, I was a TV director for 30
Right.
years. So inventing a product and selling it,
Yeah.
it's not my forte. So I'm now that we had success, we've worked out some of the bugs. My challenge now is how do I get the word out, and I'm looking to other people to help me with
Well,
that.
Charles is the right guy for it.
Yeah. Well, awesome, man. I mean, I am very impressed by the product. I love the concept. I love the thought process that's gone into it, because definitely it's a simple product, but I think it's what the marketplace has been lacking is different design. We talk about, for so long, nobody ever got fit for a putter.
Right.
Right? And now everybody's getting fit for a putter. So I think it's just the next step is that you look for opportunities for things to do and things to make a difference. And sometimes it's the simple things that can mean so much.
That's right.
So we're offering a discount code on our website, k2golf.com. The Golf Shop Show 20 gets you 20% off your order. Everything except bundles. And if you're not sure what size tee you need for your game, the bundles or our packages that have 1 through 8, or we have a range token, which is every other tee,
Okay.
are a good option to figure out what the right size is for your game.
Good.
Well, perfect. Well, Kevin, we appreciate you stopping by this
Thank you,
morning,
Kevin.
and we look forward to working with K2 Golf.
Mark, Matt, thank you for having me on.
Thank you, man.
All right, that is Kevin Kreppen with K2 Golf.